Svanna Axdotter. Free weapons. A plate with some kind of sweet-smelling powder has been placed next to Freya's shrine, along with a pile of precious jewellery sacrificed to the goddess of love, fertility and war. The elaborately carved hammer on Thor's shrine has been almost worn away from many years of prayers to the god of strength that storms and harvest. Someone has carefully placed a fine old sword against Odin's shrine, no doubt hoping to win the favour of the god of wisdom, sorcery and death. The Gydia is young, not much older than you. Her blonde hair is elaborately braided, her brightly coloured dress embroidered with complex religious patterns. Welcome, my name is Svanna. I'm Gydia here at the temple. Is this your first time visiting? Yes, I've never had the occasion, or I think I may have come here with my father a long time ago. I'm going to say the latter. I feel like we would be pretty well travelled. Then you are honoured to host you again. Have you come to petition the gods? I need medicine for a sick friend. She nods politely, looking you through as her mind is somewhere else. We're always happy to help. Please describe the illness. She has a deep, awful cough and a fever. She's been bedridden for many weeks. Can you help her? The Gydia maintains a vacant stare. Yes, I hope. But I need mouldy bark from the troll tree. Where does the tree stand? In the marsh to the southeast. Look for patches of yellow-green mould on its trunk. If you bring me the bark, I will use it to make a cure for you. I'd like to make an offering. We have shrines to Odin, Thor and Freya here, but I'm happy to accept offerings to any Aesir or Vanir that you wish to appease. Wow, 50 rations? Odin for swiftness, Thor for strength, Freya for protection, Tyr for discipline, Balder for good fortune, or Heimdall for vigilance. So, strength, finesse, endurance, perception, senses. I don't know what discipline would be. Hang on. Well, I've already got maximum endurance, so I'm thinking probably strength. Or sense. I like the idea of getting more senses. Discipline. What's discipline? That's definitely... Alright, so perception. So what don't we know? It's got to be sense. But then what's good fortune? So... Thor, Freya, Odin, Heimdall. That's got to be Balder. No, because there's two. There's Tyr and... There's 5 stats. I can't count. Will you share a story about the gods? A twinkle in her eyes belies a vacant demeanour. Of course, I shall recount the ballad of Hymir, where mighty Thor pulls up the Midgard serpent. Sounds cool. Svanna slips seamlessly into the way of the old words, her voice taking on the rhythmic quality of a skald as she begins to recount the old ballad. Long ago, the gods were eating their prey, and the mood for a drink before they were full. They shook the sticks and looked at the lots. They learned that the Aegir's were a fine crop of the cauldrons. Aegir, the cliff dweller, sat there, cheerful as a child. Thor, the son of Dread, defiant, stared him in the eye. Often you'll have to prepare drinking feasts for the Aesir. The word surly warrior gave trouble to the giant. He thought how next he might be revenged on the gods. Aegir asked Sif's husband to bring him a cauldron, with which I will brew an ale for you all. The far-famed gods and the great powers couldn't get one anywhere. Till, because of the close ties, Loki was able to offer much welcome advice to Thor alone. East of Elivagar dwells hugely wise Hemir at the heaven's edge. My fierce father owns a pot, a capacious cauldron of a league deep. Do you know if we can get some brew kettle? If friend, we too do it with cunning. I'm gonna look at that later. Right, yes, we need to do that. Mark save. Talk to you, offering. So, I'm gonna go with Boulder for good fortune. Okay, so Boulder is prosperity. I'm just curious to see what they all do. In fact, I might just look it up so I don't need to load and save every time. Expeditions, Viking, Svanna. What about offerings? Simple offering. Here we go. Odin is movement, Thor is hit points, Freya is mental resist, Tyr is physical resist, Baldur is morale, Heimdall is avoid crits. Okay, and they all also offer power and prosperity. So this is more about the amulets you get from the different options. Well, of all of those, I would say that the most tempting would be the hit points of the movement. The resistance is not that interested. I mean, the morale could be good if we have low morale people. But I think I like the idea of Thor's hit points, so we're going to go with Thor. We also gain some prosperity from that. Thor's Talisman. Talisman represents the strength of Thor, God of Thunder and Protection, plus 10 hit points, which we will carry ourselves, so we now have 140 hit points. We're getting pretty tough. So we already have a couple of reasons to head down to the marsh. But we have a much more of this town still to explore. So let's continue with that. More buildings going up. Definitely signs of a prosperous town. lot of building going on, actually. It's not just one or two houses, it's like an entire neighborhood. Unadulterated condensation radiates from the dark eyes under bushy eyebrows. It's rare to see such arrogance in the face of such a blatantly unrefined man. I know you! You're the Thane of Scarin, right? Saw you fight some ill-equipped farm boys at your father's funeral. Huh. Hope to see you fare better against a real warrior once. And you're schooled berserker. That's right. Skaki's the name. Heard you're in town looking for a crew. Braid already hired everyone who's worth their salt. What are you doing here? Just preparing my ship for a little excursion across the sea. Got some mates in Orkney waiting for me to visit. I'll be crossing the sea soon as well. Perhaps we'll meet again on the other coasts. Not if you've any luck, Thane of Scarin. Charming. I'm going to nick your stuff. Turn around so I can see what these are. Definitely hear the sound of combat. And Ricolfa with the biggest ship in this area. A sorry looking man sits on the boardwalk, a small selection of equipment spread out on a wool blanket in front of him. Hail, Honourable Thane. Are you in need of weapons or armour, perchance? Are you selling your equipment? I am no warrior. These things belong to my beautiful wife, Vigunda. She fell in Frisia, defending a group of traders. Without her, there is nothing left for me here. I'm going back east to my ancestral village, but I need a place on a ship. Tell me about Vigunda. She was the most beautiful woman in the world. Her hair was gold and it flowed about her shoulders like a waterfall. When she smiled, everything seemed colourless by comparison. When she laughed, there was no other sound in the world. She chose the life of a shield maiden before we met. I wanted nothing more than to settle down with her, but she was too full of life for such a modest existence. I would never love another woman. Never be able to. And how much do you need for this journey? It seems the going rate is about 50 ortung of silver, less if I could work for my upkeep, but I know nothing of ships. If I can sell all of Vikinda's equipment, that should cover it, with silver to spare in the end. Let's see what you have. No. I mean, her equipment's good. The centerpiece of the selection is a suit of decent but unremarkable hide armor. Nasty slash across the chest. That has been very competently repaired. You'd estimate the original worth to be about 300 valuables. In front of the selection lies a winged spear that could potentially reach 200 when new, and coiled around it, a simple flax sling probably worth about 150. A standard leather trim helmet worth 100 valuables or so rounds off the collection. So you need about 50. I'll pay for the armor. Thank you, kind Thane. May you be interested in anything else. Helmet. And the spear. And the sling. Oh, thank you. Thank you! At last I can afford the journey home. Ricolfa gets up, rubs his legs briefly, and then rolls off the wool cloth and slowly makes his way across the boardwalk towards the nearest ship. Alright, what did I get? So we got the spear, which is rubbish. 7 to 12 damage. We have a 14 to 19. Admittedly, Wormstave is a really good weapon. Then the armor is a 30-20, which is slightly worse than what I'm using, but only just. It's better than Gunnar's. And the sling is a 5-9 damage, which is better than yours. And then we have that extra hide armor, which we can give to somebody else. Probably you. And then we have the helmet, which is better range defense, worse melee defense. I mean, it's actually significantly better than what you're wearing. So there we go. So we made use of everything there except for the spear. Just seeing if anybody else has spear skills, but they don't. Okay, so I still have 600 valuables left, so we didn't use all of it. Oh, here's the training area. I was wondering when we'd get to that, and there's Mordred, which was another person we needed to speak to. Let's have a word. Let's investigate this area first of all. You never know, we might find some clues. Oh, it doesn't look like we did. Alright, let's talk to him. A pair of dour eyes regard you suspiciously from beneath bushy brows. The old man before you is lanky and slight, and though most of his lank hair is grey or white, streaks of ginger red remain stubbornly visible. What? I'm here to see a man about a pig. His eyes pop slightly as he sizes you up, jaw clenching and unclenching. Those thieving hard dancers are trying to take away what little we have! Again! Slow down, maybe I can help. His eyes flicker from your face to the street and then back again before he visibly relaxes. You want to help? Haven't come to take something. Just tell me what this is about. You receive a look of disbelief mingled with a touch of relief and perhaps even hope. The half-dancing snakes, all of them, stole our fattest hog. They say it's their markings, but the notch on the left, on the edge of its right ear was just a small nick. They must have cut it larger. Cleary showed me the markings. Mardor's face rearranges into a mask of lopsided anger. It seems to take him a moment to cool that fire long enough to spit out the words. They cut new markings, I'm sure of it. I know that pig is one of ours. How can you be so sure? When you raise an animal, watch your sons tend to it every day. You can tell. Is there anything else anyone else I should talk to? My boys Samir and Polini saw the theft. Can you think of anyone else? A man named Builder lives nearby. He's got ties to both families. Polini leans against the wall, content to watch his brother toil. He is a slight man with a wiry bearing and a sharp glint to his eyes. His eyes snap to you during your approach. You get the impression that he is quickly forming a complete opinion about you, and it's not flattering. Are you Polini? His nostrils flare and he rolls his eyes, heaving his shoulders in an exaggerated sigh. He pauses for a moment, as though composing himself. An accurate rejoinder of your mundane inquiry would suggest affirmation. Are you using those big words just to make me feel stupid? That your proclaimed lack of mental acuity should inform my exercise of convoluted inflection is merely baseless conjecture. Then surcease that non-germane affection of your procrantalism and enunciate with brevity. A look of unmitigated shock plays across his face. It takes him a moment to pick up his jaw and regain his composure. Well, did I stutter? He doesn't seem willing to look you in the eye for a few moments, and when he does, it's with considerable respect. No, you made yourself clear. According to your father, the half-dancer stole a hog. An ugly sneer mars his thin face. It's not the first time they've taken something from us. But they're wealthy and have powerful friends. The truth is what they make of it. Tell me of the half-dancers. They killed my brother. Also, because he disagreed with the jarl's appointment. We didn't agree with the views either, but murder? They never paid for what they did either. And what about you, Samir? Summit towers above you. The summit of ahead is cropped with closely cut, and there is obviously great strength in the bulk. He carries himself in the pronounced slouch. He looms in, deep-set eyes squinting, and acknowledging rumble thrums in your direction. Hello, Summer. I'm Mordred. Hi. Summer's trunk-like arm falls to his side, still grasping the mallet he was using to hammer the new fence post into the mud. What do you do? Fix things for father. Help little brother. Your father says the half-dancers stole a pig. Did they? Ah, pig. He straightens his back and his voice rolls like thunder in an oncoming storm cloud. Half-dancers are liars. Tell me about the half-dancers. His frown somehow deepens for a moment, and you fear his face might split into two under the weight of it. They killed my big brother. I'm sorry, Summer. He looks across the lot at Polny. Why do they want to take Boar? Right. Well, I guess we'll continue down this way. Skolagrimmer is doing some stuff. Apparently I can see what's happening with this boat. Oh, is this where the pig lived? Small wood toys hide in the hay. A child's hideaway. No. So, what will Skolagrimmer have for us? Being the most powerful woman in Denmark, Ragnhild has a second longhouse just for her herdmen. Warriors from all over the north come here to seek work and to train with her renowned huscarls. You recognise Skolagrimmer, your father's funeral feast. The tall man's Ragnhild's bannerman and lover, and he never leaves her side. Oh there, Mordred. Greatly enjoyed myself at your feast, especially the show you put on at the end. You fought well. It was a good feast, and one I won't be able to match again for some time. When I host another, you will be invited. Means a lot coming from you. I'm told you and Ragnhild fought a dozen of Harald Wartooth huscarls at Braville. Aye, it's true. We stood back to back and faced them 3 or 4 at a time. The fight took a whole day. Tell me, what brought you to Reba today? Looking to hire a crew for my ship. They've chosen a bad time to recruit. Mercenaries have no trouble finding low-risk work at the moment, with the trouble in the marsh. What trouble? People have been disappearing in those marshes for years, but it's gotten a lot worse lately. As many of a dozen disappearances over the past few months. Entire trade caravans simply vanish in there. The old city is awash in rumours of lantern and man-eating witches and other such nonsense. If your interest goes beyond idle curiosity, I may suggest you talk to Ragnhild about it. She's been trying to find people willing to do something about it. Okay. Sorry, Mordred. Nobody's looking for work right now. As long as the danger persists in the marshes, I doubt you'll find anyone willing to go. Still have this to explore in this. Okay. Looks like I need to head over here. Well, we're finding even more free stuff, so thank you, Reba. Very, very generous of you. Some more over here. Make sure we don't waste any of this. Nice little lake. Those guys already spoke to. Actually, did I? Runveig is the only one that we still need to speak to. Ah, Cairn. There was something which you needed, which needed one more point? I thought? But I don't remember what it was. Oh, it was repair. Yes. Boom. So we now have level 3 repair. We need 175 total spent to get it to level 4. But what that does mean is we can start to dismantle a bunch of this stuff. In order to get salvage. Sort this by name. I mean, I'd really like to sort this by type. To make sure that I have one of every type of equipment. Still left over. So how much salvage has that given me? That has got me up to 28. So now, next time we camp, I might actually be able to get some actual crafting done. Speaking of which, does that mean that you have enough skill points now to upgrade in crafting? Yes. No, you need 8. Oh, you're expensive. I need 12 to get higher leadership skill.